Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 13. Let's see, it's been 7 weeks, maybe longer, that we've been in quarantine. I've been here with Jill and the girls. It's been a really interesting time. We all have our ups and downs, and we're all doing our best to support one another, just like y'all are. And once again, I have to remind you how much I appreciate not only your watching, but being there for me. I really do feel like we're going through this together. And I feel very lucky to have the opportunity to come into y'all's homes and just spend a little time with you. So thanks again. And thanks to all of the people on the front lines who are doing everything that they can and risking their lives to keep us safe. I pray for all of y'all, and we couldn't do it without you. So thank you very much. All right, let's get right into it. I don't know how many of y'all saw me singing the national anthem on the NFL draft the other night, but I was so honored that the NFL called me to do it. It's a song that I've had the privilege of singing on lots of really cool occasions, like the US Open, and I sang at a Game 7 of a World Series one year. I sang at a Super Bowl one year. So I've really been lucky to sing our national anthem at some pretty high-profile events, and I always take it very, very seriously because this is our national anthem, and I think it should be treated with the utmost respect. Now, if you Google the national anthem, you're gonna see names like Jimi Hendrix and Colin Kaepernick and Francis Scott Key and Whitney Houston, and all of these people have had something to do with the national anthem either a long time ago or very, very recently. I'm gonna preface this segment by saying that what I'm gonna talk about is the lyrics of the national anthem and what they mean. I'm not making any kind of political statement about the national anthem. I'm merely telling you what I think the national anthem means and how I think it should be sung. I'm aware that there are other verses to the national anthem. I understand the content of those verses. I understand that people feel differently about those verses. I'm not talking about those verses. I'm talking specifically about the national anthem that we sing. So here we go. Here is my guide to singing the national anthem. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light. Okay, I think the first thing we need to do is talk about who wrote the song. Well, it was a guy named Francis Scott Key, and he actually wasn't a songwriter. He was a lawyer, and he was representing a guy who was on a British ship trying to negotiate a deal to get this guy released from the ship. So he goes out to the ship trying to work this deal out, and then he's ready to cut out, and the British are like, no, you have to stay on the ship. And he stayed on the ship, and it was an eventful night because on the night of September the 14th, there was a big old battle. They're called the Battle of Fort McHenry, and that is the backdrop to this poem that he was about to write. So let's start with the lyrics and go through them word for word. Now, whenever I look at a song, I take the lyrics and I read them to myself or read them out loud, just like I'm reading a poem or a piece of prose or having a conversation with someone, because ultimately lyrics are designed to communicate an idea, and I think it's important to take them out of the song and internalize them. So let's look at the very first line of the song. Oh, say, can you see? First thing I notice is it's a question. So he's asking something. So Francis Scott Key, either he's asking this guy that he was representing on the boat, or asking us, or speaking rhetorically, can you see by the dawn's early light? So we know what time of day it is. It's early. The sun is just coming up. What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming. So he's asking you, can you see this morning what we were able to see last night? So you're Francis Scott Key, you're on this ship, and you know that this Fort McHenry is about to just get pummeled, and this is going to be a crazy night. So, oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed, we paid tribute to, at the twilight's last gleaming? Now he goes on to describe what that was that they could see. Whose broad stripes and bright stars. Why did he call them broad? Well, I think he's probably talking about the vastness of our country. This flag has been put up on top of this fort, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, okay? Through the perilous fight. So he's watching it all through this perilous fight, this dangerous fight. Or the ramparts we watched. The ramparts were the walls of the fort, or O''ER, meaning above, over. Or the ramparts we watched, over the fort we watched, were so gallantly streaming. So let's go back over that. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, or the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming? Let's put that in English just before we move on. Hey, check this out. It's super early in the morning, but are you seeing what I'm seeing? That flag that was up through that super dangerous fight, is it still there? Because we were checking it out last night and it was pretty amazing, but did it last throughout the night? And here's where I think the song gets exciting. And the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air. Okay, the rockets. What is he talking about, rockets? This is back in 1814. Well, the British were using this technology. They were rockets. They were like iron-cased fireworks. I think they may have been a little bit too far offshore because they were bursting in air and not hitting the target. They were falling short. The bombs were bursting in air, and the rockets had a red glare. And that glare, that burst of light, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. So they're watching this battle. They are watching this massive British Navy with these bombs that were bursting in air, and every time there was a flash of light, just like the fireworks on 4th of July, they could see the flag. It was still there. He asks another question at the end. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Is that flag still waving over, symbolically over this country? But I think it's really important to understand what the song is about. And then you can take it from there. So that is my guide to singing the national anthem, and I hope you liked it. And the home of the brave. And now it's time for viewer videos. Okay, our first video is from Bev Pyle. She says, Charlotte Banks was born on April the 14th during our pandemic quarantine. She looked directly at the camera and said hi to me, her Grammy.
Say hi, Grammy.
I'd say she's saying hi. Grammy, you must have felt so special. That's cool. Congratulations to all of y'all on that beautiful child. And boy, the stories that child is going to be able to tell one day, huh? Our next video is from Connie Malloy. Connie says, here's how my dad is quarantining with some piano and singing Italian songs. You get it, Pop. Pop is over there playing and singing. Pop is doing what you're supposed to do with music. He doesn't care. It doesn't matter what happens right now. You could drop a plate of food. It doesn't matter. Pop is about to just, Pop is getting after it with those Italian songs. Yeah, Pop. Thanks for sending that in, Connie. Our next video is from Nancy Scott, and she says, our family challenged us to a dance-off. We have way too much time on our hands here in Northern Canada. See, Northern Canada's throwing it down. Like, I come from New Orleans, right? I mean, we dance and stuff on the street, and we eat, crawfish, and we have all of these festivals, but Northern Canada? I didn't realize y'all had it in you in Northern Canada like that. Like, my father-in-law is from Red Deer, Alberta, and over the years, I've gotten to see him, he can dance. You put some put some music on and he can go for it. But I didn't expect like the disco lights and the full-on costumes. You know, y'all are my people. I feel that. I feel you. Next, we have a photo from Joseph Demarius. Joseph says, I'm a social worker on Long Island, and my wife Jessica is a high school religion teacher. Jess's students obviously can't go to church, so her school chaplain, Father Dave, decided that we would bring church to them. This is what it's about. You know, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, right? I mean, this is fantastic. This is why I'm doing the show, because y'all are acting in ways that show how extraordinary you are, how compassionate you are, and how humble you are, and we're supporting each other, and that makes me so happy. Thank you so much for sending that in, Joseph. I really appreciate that. Our next video is from a family, hello, from the Obergefell family in Concord, Ohio. What have we been doing to stay busy? Well, there's a lot of music happening in the house, and attached is a little video of the girls singing together.
Bring me little water, Sylvie. Bring me little water now. Bring me little water, Sylvie. Every little once in a while.
Girls, that's just lovely. It's lovely. You got the choreography, you got the vocals. These videos are so fun. This is a tough time. This is a real drag. All of us have experienced tragedy and loss, and yet we're finding ways to keep ourselves afloat. And these videos are keeping me afloat. You're making me smile. It's filling up my heart with joy. Next up, we have a photo from Lisa Smith. Lisa says, I'm a pharmacist in Michigan, so I'm considered an essential person. You certainly are. I work at a small independent pharmacy, and we are doing our best to continue to serve our patients as well as try to comfort them in this time of chaos. Lisa, we couldn't do it without you. That's all I can tell you. What would happen if we needed a prescription and we went to the pharmacy and the pharmacy was closed? Or if we put our trash out and nobody came to pick up the trash, or nobody delivered the mail, or, I mean, the list goes on and on. You are essential, and we could not do it without you. Thank you. And now, superheroes. Our superhero today is Maggie Doyne. She's 33, she is from New Jersey, and listen to this. She saved up her babysitting money, I guess this is going back 10 years or so, and she was on a trip to Nepal, and she decided she was going to use all of her money to buy a little small piece of land and try to help some kids over there. So eventually it became the Copila Valley Children's Home, and it welcomed 200 children when it first opened in 2007. Now that's amazing just on its own. Somebody who would dedicate their life to trying to help some kids who would not otherwise have an opportunity. But this is what completely left me speechless, really beyond belief. Now, she lives in her home with her family. She has her husband, Jeremy, and she has a daughter named Ruby, and her 54 other children. They live in the same house, and Maggie has taken it upon herself to take care of these children during this pandemic. For some of the kids who have graduated and gone on to other things, they also receive care. Maggie says we have 12 kids in college all over Nepal, so we had to get them all in a minivan and get them back into quarantine at an apartment across the street. She educates, feeds, and cares for a family close to 60 in quarantine. Just think about that, ladies and gentlemen. And the college kids across the street. They've come up with creative solutions. They're using their emergency food supply. They're relying on gardening and farm programs to supplement what they can't purchase anymore. Maggie says we're just making the best of it and taking in each moment. We're trying to keep with the normalcy of a schedule with game time, homeschool time, meals, bedtime. She said they used to have bread and butter and eggs, and she says all of a sudden that was just gone. And it was rice and beans. And she said, I've never seen the kids so excited about peas from the garden. Uh, I need to spend some time thinking about how I can be better, Maggie, because you have set an incredible bar. I can only aspire to dream of being as great as you are as a human being. This is what it's all about. This gives us strength. This gives us resolve. And I am just blown away by what you've done. You're incredible. Look her up, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know about her, and just be amazed. Maggie Doyen, you truly are a superhero. Okay, I'd like to end the show with a performance. My father-in-law, Bill, asked me the other day, how come you don't play at the end of every show? I guess, I don't know, it just takes a long time to, edit all of these shows together, and sometimes I get around to it and sometimes I don't. But I'm gonna do a song for y'all now, and I'm gonna dedicate it to my father-in-law, Bill. He loves like boogie woogie piano. So here's a song that I recorded on my last album, the tribute to Cole Porter, and I do it in a New Orleans piano style. And Bill has heard this a million times because he was visiting us Christmas time, 2018, and he heard me practicing this all the time. And I thought the last thing he would want is to hear this song again. But I'm dedicating it to you, Bill, and I hope you like it. So instead of Begin the Begin, I'm gonna call it Bill's Begin. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Hunker Down with Harry.
Sitting beneath the sea.
Don't forget to send in your videos to hunkerdownwithharry@gmail.com. Send them as an MP4 because it's easier to download them like that than from Vimeo or from Facebook or YouTube. Just send them as an MP4, just like you shoot them on your phone. I'll do my best to get to them and try to put them on the show. Thanks, y'all.